Hello, tarot seekers. Welcome to IMAGINation. Branding is coming in the future, I promise, but better to start now than wait to have everything perfect. So today we're going to do a timeless pick a pile card reading for what does this pile need to know the most as a message for the upcoming year. So if this is for a very soon to come up year or one that's further away, it is the idea that it can be watched at any point in time as a message for the upcoming year. If you've happened to come upon this long after this video has been published, it could still resonate for you. So give it a go, basically, give it a go. Go ahead. Tripping up on words, and give it a try and see what resonates for you. These are general readings, so these may not resonate for everyone, but have a listen and let me know if it does, and hopefully it will bring you messages that will be helpful to you. My craft name is Zena Nietzsche, and I'm also known as Jen. So we have 3 different piles, and this deck is going to be my clarification deck should I need to. So what I've done is basically I've drawn cards already out of shuffling for each pile. Now each pile is going to have a different amount of cards because I asked the decks to give me dropouts in a certain amount of shuffles till they are done and ready. Which basically means that if I was shuffling a deck and nothing came out after 3 rounds of shuffling, it meant it had nothing to say to you. So we have the maroon deck for pile number 1, the blue deck for pile number 2, and the purple deck for pile number 3. So take a moment to focus either on the color or the number, center yourself, use a pendulum, whatever way you want. And we will get ourselves started. So I'm going to take these away, and we're going to start with pile number 1, the maroon pile. Put that up there as a handy-dandy reference. And these can hang out till we need them. So pile number 1, we're going to start with the purple cards on the bottom. What is it that you most need to know for the new year going forward? So we have the World reversed, the 10 of Pentacles reversed, and the 5 of Pentacles reversed. Very interesting. So what I'm getting from this is that in the upcoming year, business or patterns or some great cycle of your life is not entirely over. This chapter still needs to be finished. It's in its 3rd act, but it hasn't totally ended yet. It may involve either your financial situation, your home life, or family altogether. If there are issues that need to be repaired within the family, if you need to get a hold of your finances and get out of debts, if you need to possibly move where you live, etc. These are part of the things that play into the major theme that could possibly be going through your lifetime. However, you're coming out of the cycle of feeling impoverished from it. So although the thing or the journey is not completely done and there still is some more healing left to do or actual physical deeds that need to be done, you are on the process of healing and coming out of it, and it will soon be over. What else does this pile need to know? That. Abstinence, the Hangman. The Ancient, the Hierophant reversed. And the 7 of Wands reversed. So, this is rather interesting. This may not be for everyone, what is about to be said, but take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Abstinence here, especially with this deck, has a lot of about either the things that we're addicted to. You see this is actually a vampire deck, so this is a cup of blood, but whether it's alcohol consumption or overindulgence in some way, that could be sexual, that could be with drugs, that could be with overworking, etc. The thing that we use to numb ourselves, the thing that we are ferociously dependent on, we need to take a period of being abstinent from it. And if that is really difficult for you, it may be necessary to get help, because you see here, for this person to practice abstinence, they need to actually be restrained, because they may not be quite capable entirely themselves to be able to deal with it on their own. So with this cards, that may be something in the larger chapter that needs to be looked at, is what is it that you need to take a period of break from as part of this narrative that needs to be wrapped up and healed. Also, the Hierophant reversed. It may be that going through a traditional system may not entirely be helpful with your scenario. It could be more restrictive than anything. It would be interesting to still seek help, but it may be that you won't receive help from, for example, a government body, or maybe there isn't the type of assistance that you need for your particular situation in a governmental social context. So you will need to possibly reach out to friends and family if you have the ability to do so to get help. Maybe there are resources online that may be a bit more unconventional or non-brick and mortar that you could go looking at. Then we have the Seven of Wands reverse, which means you still haven't really come to the one position that you want to defend and hold on to above all others. It seems like there is some wounding here, that in this imagery right now I get that there is like either the person is walking away or coming towards. My first instinct, and maybe this is for some of you, is that some old wounds and passions are part of what the substance uses could be about. Or if not substance uses, whatever the numbing technique that you're using is related to passions that burnt you, basically. And that basically this wounding that is still existing here could be helped to be transmuted if you found a passion that you would dedicate your energy into, that you wanted to hold on to, that you wanted to be standing up for, basically. Let's check out this next card. The Daughter of Swords reversed. There is still knowledge and wisdom to be gleaned by going through this experience. You have stuff that you need to learn in the upcoming year. Possibly also about the nature of communication with others, whether online or in person. Communication skills, as well as gleaning wisdom through the lessons that you're going through. Let's check our guidance messages that came out for you. I don't really look at those that way. So we have the whale, the zebra, the lion, and the raccoon, which is very interesting because these all fell out before the deck said that it was finished, and you basically have every single element represented here. So it looks like you're getting a lot of help when it comes to this issue that you're facing. So we'll start with the whale, and the whales have the ability to breathe deep, to dive to the depths of the ocean and sing beautiful songs. So this has the space of being able to go into your own darkness, but know that you're safe, know that you can breathe, and know that you come back up to resurface. That it's actually in your power to be able to go into those spaces safely, and that you rule that domain of your emotions. The zebra, I really love this very rainbow type triangle at the center of the head, is air, and this is very third eye. So although you may get stuck in your head a lot, overthinking things, or having, let's say, possibly mental health issues that you struggle with, there is a deep inner knowing that you have within you that you can trust in, that can guide you, that is different from the mundane chatter that constantly happens. This is the one that really fills you with warmth, light, love, color, that makes you feel lighter, that brings color in a rather monotone world, for example. And to trust that intuition when it comes to working with this issue. Next, the lion. Definitely take courage. There will need to be strength, courage, endurance for the long haul. This is powerful, definitely a ruler over one's own kingdom, and eventually you can get there. It really does seem like you have the ability to be able to get through this lesson, especially I want to remind over this card, the Five of Pentacles reverse, meaning that although the journey that you've been going through is not entirely done and there's still lessons to be learned, you are on the up and out, baby. But keep having strength and courage. Resourcefulness as well when it comes to this. Lastly, the message of the raccoon. Raccoons are really, I feel, intelligent creatures. They are highly resourceful. They're great with their hands. They're also a nocturnal animal, a little bit of a bandito. So no, I'm not saying to go and rob anything, but definitely look at how you can make use of the resources around you. Start getting creative. Start looking at what you have now to work with rather than focusing on what you wish you had to be able to work with. So think of it as a little bit of MacGyvering to the situation. Let's one more and just pull for an overall last message kind of thing, possibly from this deck. There it is. The Knight of Pentacles. So whether this means that you're younger or in your teen years, or that it means that basically in the knowledge base and the process is still in this teen sort of mentality of development. And what that means is that you're not at, full adulthood in this particular lesson. So some things with this lesson are going to come up to tempt you over and over again that you need to resist, basically. Learn from them so that you can apply that willpower, that diligence to being able to sow what you really want to come into your world, into your kingdom. All right, so that's it. Pile number 1. I would be interested to hear your thoughts, how that resonated with you. I know that there's some heavier messages that come up through there, but I have to admit that I read the dark as well as the light because I think it's important to share that, and it's not all just positivity. We need to hear the truth to be able to work with it and progress. So, moving on, we're going to clear with my little spray. Coming up to pile number 2. So we're just going to get my other deck kind of nicely shuffled and able to have that already so that if we need to use it, if there's something that I'm unclear of, then it is ready to So let's begin. Pile number 2. What are the messages that you most need to know going forward into the next year? We have 7 of Cups, King of Pentacles reversed, and Queen of Cups reversed. Interesting pile number 2. What I really find interesting about this particular deck, especially when I have both a King and Queen in opposition like this, is in the 7 of Cups, there is a couple, we shall say, or at least people in partnership, and whether they're, you know, of opposite genders, genderless, or same gender, it doesn't really matter. But 2 people who are looking to totally different places. So one is looking at a map, the other is looking up into this fantastical dream world that they're imagining. And so basically these 2 people are at a crossroads of looking down different paths and journeys. So there are a lot of potential options that could come out of this, but it's really about this particular unit of 2 people, whether it's business, relationship, etc., whether it's a component of a polyamory scenario. There are 2 individuals who are dreaming different dreams. And one, the more projective, the more extroverted, the more outgoing related energy, is coming from a more pragmatic mindset. What would be, you know, the things that we need to keep, what our finances, our investments, or even just theirs, not even ours. They're looking at things from holding on extremely tightly, being afraid of letting go of physical things that they own, not willing to uproot, basically, comfortable where they are. And the other feels emotionally drowning. This is the receptive one, the one that may be more introverted or more internal of a landscape in this scenario. Emotions are drowning you. So basically, in this scenario, this individual wants to leave, wants to dream and imagine somewhere else to be able to go, because they think that if they leave and go on a different path, they won't be drowning anymore. Perhaps they'll find land and salvation. But one of the things that I want to bring up about both of these cards is that they're both in the reverse, so they're both enacting from a fear-based place. And that means that no matter where you go or where you stay, that energy is going to be with you. So staying or going, really, I don't think is the big thing here. The big thing is the differences in vision, the lack of communication, the possible overwhelm of possibilities, and emotions and stubbornness, etc., all being triggered. You really need to ask yourself, what are the possible fear-based ideas, emotions that I have that are kind of entrapping me here? Now, my next deck gave you a lot of cards that wanted to be talked about, so let's take them all out right now. So we have the Queen of Cups reversed again. Well, this is a big one. The Queen of Wands reversed. Okay. The 3 of Swords reversed. The 8 of Swords reversed. The 9 of Pentacles reversed. Ooh, this is fascinating. And the King of Pentacles reversed. Oh, wow. You can't even make that up. Wow, it's the exact same ones. Interesting. So, what I find really interesting too about this upper narrative, and that the King and Queen both showing up in the reverse again, is now the appearance of this Queen of Wands reversed. And either there is like a third party scenario that's happening outside of a monogamous connection, or this is yet another component to this reverse queen where both passion, excitement, even sexually and emotionally unfulfilled, or there is an aspect of possibly longing of a previous partner that one had passion or attachment to that is also caught up into the mix. So, could be different for each one of you, but the larger, more interesting narrative comes here. And I think we're really going to be talking about that. I guess. No, I'll get there. Hold on. Let me recapitulate. So the Three of Swords reverse has like the healing of heartbreak. So there's issues that have been happening that have basically had you both heartbroken. And it could be, as I mentioned, all the various ways that that card could show up. There is a lot of taking off of the blindfold for both parties. Now being able to see each other clearly. Now being able to know, oh, the way I was thinking about that scenario, oh, I was right. Or, my motivations behind this, I can see them now. I understand at least why I'm doing what I'm doing instead of doing it on a subconscious and blind level. But one of the big reasons and the heaviness that's here is that there's a lack of independence. And I'm thinking most likely for the two of these people, if not even a third, if there is a third component. But since the King and Queen showed up again, I'm really going to focus on the two. There needs to be more independence if this is going to come together. I mean, this is something that you're going to need to discuss. It really seems like this is in some sort of partnership, so it could be business, it could be romantic. If you don't have any of that, maybe this isn't resonating for you, and I apologize, but the cards really want to tell this pile that normally the Nine of Pentacles is like, I like to call it the Beyonce card. I can pay my bills. This ring on my hand, I bought it. Like that Lamborghini, I bought it. I'm capable of depending only on me. This really makes me think of a codependency situation. There's the words that I'm looking at. There's an interesting level of codependency here between these two, but also woundings and clarities over stuff that have come up from the past. And now there's a lot of fear in the relationship that they want to stay gelled together and yet are looking in two separate directions. So let's look what's next. Oh, the Lovers. The Four of Cups and the Two of Swords reversed. Okay, well, I'm really going to say, whether it's for this third party, and I don't know whether it actually suggests that this should be a go-ahead because it's still in its reversed expression, but, ultimately free will and you can decide what you like, but the Lovers is really talking about making a choice. And that's coming up again with these two pathways in the Seven of Cups. It's a major choice. Do you want to continue doing this codependency thing between the two of you? And it's suggesting no. It's suggesting this is a thing that I know and have seen and have done before. I'm getting more cognizant of it. I'm starting to choose differently or think differently, right? Instead of holding on to both ideas, I can be codependent, but maybe I can also do this, and maybe it's not that big of a deal, etc., etc. You haven't fully made the choice because the Lovers is upright, and it means that opportunity is there, but either one or both of you are both starting to pick their sword, and what same old is. So I think ultimately it's going to be coming down to making a huge decision in the upcoming year. Then we've got Stingray, which has an interesting amount of chakra colors onto it. Stingrays are very elegant creatures. that can glide through the ocean and yet are able to protect themselves with their stingers. I'm going to just also dive into the book a little bit here to get some more ideas. But apparently the Stingray card represents a pivotal point in personal growth. Developing confidence, the sense of self, or spine. Oof, yes. That tends to be a big one when it comes to codependent relationships. The Stingray must decide between the old, easy, comfortable, and familiar, Four of Cups, the shit we already know, and the new, challenging, uncomfortable, unfamiliar. Making the choice of going a different path. No matter what choice is made now, it's inevitable that this dilemma will surface again and again as the force of Dharma growing within the Stingray is too strong to ignore. So basically that means, actually I would say that if codependency is a thing that is a cycle, it definitely is something that should be worked on. That's why they're saying the cycle will come up again and again. But making a choice ultimately is the beginning of that process. So, it sounds like there is some epic level work in the new year for pile number 2. Some big choices to be made. And I think some real deep self-understanding and being honest about your choices and decision. Whether that's about having to go and get some mental health help or listening to stuff that are self-help books through library or the internet. I mean, there's some stuff here that seems to have come up before, right? Same old. And we just don't need that. We need to grow and we need to learn with the decisions that we've made. So pile number 2, I wish you the best with that. And let me know if that resonates with you, ends up manifesting for you, and I wish you all the best. Spritz, clear the space. We're moving on to the last pile, the purple pile, pile number 3. I'm just going to get my clarification cards prepped should I need them. Why? Maybe we don't want to. Right, pile number 3. Here we go. Let's see what the decks wanted to tell you that was most important for you to know in this upcoming year. We have the Two of Wands, the Queen of Wands reversed, and the Five of Wands. Interesting. So the Two of Wands really is talking about manifesting something that you want. You're excited, you're passionate, you're looking at the new year being like, yes, this is going to come to me. I'm going to bring this in. I have courage. I'm ready to go for it. I'm holding on to my one wand. There's been some ideas that I've been throwing around, but I'm basically ready to manifest what I want. However, there could be some conflict externally or internally as an aspect of self. So let's break this down. We have the Queen of Wands reversed, which could be any of the 3 fire signs, which would be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, and that could be a large quantity of chart, not just a sun. So rising sign, moon, or sun, possibly even Venus and Mars in nature. So this could be in your own chart or in the chart of someone else. As well, the Queen of Wands reversed is generally a woman or man or any person in between, that again is more of that receptive energy, like looking to be adored and getting upset when adoration or attention or praise is not being given to them, and therefore may act out brattish, for example, or lash out aggressively with anger. Anger is a big one that comes out of the fire elements. And you have fire again with the Five of Wands. Look at all these foxes jumping everywhere. And that's normally conflict from all directions. So much going on around the individual. So, in one hand, with this idea, this excitement that you have about the upcoming future, may be met with either anger or someone looking down on it, someone who's feeling superior to it and wants to make you feel little so that they feel greater, because this is in a negative expression, and it's causing a lot of chaos around what you want to bring in. Now, if it's not an external person, this could be an aspect of yourself that you're in direct conflict with. Let's see what more needs to come out of that. Only 2 for this one. Interesting. Temptation, the High Priestess reverse, and the Queen of Pentacles. It's interesting. I'm going to go first with the narrative that this is an aspect of yourself, pile number 3, because this has a lot of potential and belief and faith for what's coming into the future. And yet the High Priestess reverse says you have a lot of self-doubt over it actually being able to happen. Like, there's this sort of surface level optimism, but deep down you think, no fucking way is that even possible, or I'm not good enough, or blah 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 blah, which sounds a lot more like this, upset fire energy, where it's lack of confidence, disgust with self, it's for example. But then there's the Queen of Pentacles. So it's either that you need to know that you have all of the capacity to nurture yourself, to love yourself, and to be able to build something physical in this reality. But this can also be a person who's going to come in and help you build it, because, you're really struggling in the self, and outside help will really help you be able to shift your disbelief by seeing actual results happen in the real world. We also had a really big fallout here for this deck, so there's a lot of messages to come up next. Let's see what they say. 6 of Wands, victory. So whatever it is, pile number 3, that you're excited about bringing into this upcoming year that you're watching this video for, and you may have a lot of doubts, you may lack a lot of self-confidence, you're going to be victorious. You're going to be able to do this. You're going to be able to transform that self-doubt and disbelief, and you're going to be able to come out on top above it all. And society is going to be able to see that in you too. This is going to get you even more excited with the Son of Wands. You're ready to go ahead and be able to take on more, feel more invigorated, radiating, so much radiating out of that stick. What's interesting though is that this is the 6 of Pentacles reversed. And you may feel still ungenerous, basically. Although you feel successful that you did it, and achievement is never done, there's always more to go for, you're still coming from this like poverty-based mindset. Like there's not enough fruit to go around, basically. You think you haven't done enough, aren't good enough, haven't produced enough. So this is something that's going to be really important to look into. You need to bring some serious clarity, like deep personal work around poverty mindset, okay? Because the moon is all about being able to see in the dark, right? But the moon is also an illusion. It doesn't actually produce light. It is the reflection of the sun's light that makes the moon look luminous. So you need to be able to dive deep into your subconscious or your habits or your pattern thinking and ask yourself, why do you think there's not enough, you're not enough, that there's never enough? That's going to be really important. That's going to be really successful. Deconditioning that work is going to bring even more success, building stronger foundations for yourself to just keep building this train of passion and excitement. I'm saying like a passion project that you're really taking off the ground and making your own. The Devil reversed, also coming over this poverty mindset card. That's really good. This kind of shows that you will take the advice and do this self-work, because the Devil reverse is about releasing the binds on ourselves, right? It's about being able to let go of the chains that we put onto ourselves of, or to, I should say, our limiting beliefs. With the Daughter of Wands, though, there still might be lingering self-doubt, self-confidence issues. That's okay. Nobody's perfect. It's all right. One of the big things is just going to be continuing to do belief structure work. Now, because this is Swords and this is the Eight of Swords, this is kind of like a chrysalis phase. Going in and doing that work to be able to become, yet again, that butterfly. So once you look at your poverty mindset and you start shifting those thoughts, for example, you know, if you're like, oh, I never have enough money. Well, start saying something different, like, I have all that I need, for example. Now, this could just be about using mantra statements or intention statements like this, or it could be about going to cognitive behavioral therapy and learning how to repattern the brain that way. But this is very much about in your head, okay? This is your beliefs that you need to deconstruct. And once the poverty stuff has been worked through, next will be your self-value, your self-confidence, your self-worth. More about you and really learning to give yourself love, care, and nurturing. Guidance. The Peacock and the Camel, which are both air and fire. Now, I'm going to look into the book to get extra messages for it, but, you know, peacocks we know are considered royal birds. They have beautiful colors and beautiful little headbands. They have this amazing display that I think captivates all. And then the camel also has the ability to survive for long periods of time and store what it needs, aka water, within itself for the long journey. So it has what it needs, even though it doesn't look like it has a lot. It's made space within itself. So let's also look at this from the book's perspective. And the camel is resourceful, independent, and knows oneself. Working on that self-confidence. The camel can handle absolutely anything. It carries a wealth of nourishment within. This wondrous creature is self-reliant and handles challenges with ease, even in the face of excess heat, which there is a lot of fire elements, by the way, that came up in this reading. So heat seems to be a thing that's big with you, pile number 3. The camel searches inside for the cool elixir of water to calm the situation. Brings opposites into balance, fire and water. Responsible for one's own reactions. That's also part of this mental work. Let's look now for the peacock. Unfortunately, this book isn't designed with kind of like a sections for each card that's numbered at the beginning of the book, so I have to flip through it manually, but here we go. Inner beauty, compassion, assimilator of anything. Beauty resides within the peacock, basically, and extends outwardly indefinitely. Again, I think this really comes down to this like self-love stuff that I was talking about. This creature can assimilate or digest all life experiences, so it does not harbor resentment, conflict, or past pain within its psyche. Not many of us has reached this advanced level of the peacock, of acceptance of self and others. So it's something that we can work on, but it's something that is achievable. I think for this one, I'm going to use a universal law deck and find a card. Woo! A couple of them, apparently. So this is a really great deck that one of my three individuals co-created, but one of them is a former mentor of mine. So we have the universal law of perpetual transformation, the universal law of perfection, and the universal law of reciprocity. So let's go have a look at those to see what kind of advice you get from these universal laws. Perpetual transformation. It states that everything in the universe is a constant state of perpetual transformation. Change is natural and is part of perfectly ordered universe. Let's see. How to harmonize with this law. You could spend time looking at photos of your younger self. Think about how you have changed over time. Were there periods in your life when you changed, or when the change happened slowly, and other periods where it happened quickly? Accept that change is there and that there's a perfect season for everything. The process of change is invisible to you, but you may not see the background work being done. However, it is being done and is working in your favor to bring your ideals to fruition. Let's go look at the universal law of perfection now. Which says that all forms exist in a state of perfection because all form is made from that which is flawless. I think you need a lot of self-love, pile 3, sending lots of love to you. Reciprocity. Maybe this is about self-love and give love. A constant state of giving and receiving. Thoughts, feelings, and actions send an energy vibration out into the universe, and that returns to you what is sent out. So if you're in a space of, thinking ill of yourself, even if you think well of others, that still is energy that's going to be going out and coming back, right? So really accept that everything changes over time, so don't hold yourself to any standard from like a different time period, or I used to be, or I wish I was, or blah blah blah. Perfection, we're all perfect. Everything is perfect as it is in every moment, because that's how life is being. And give out the love and feel the love for yourself as well. I hope that is helpful. Pile number 3, let me know if those messages resonated with you, if any of that kind of stuff shows up in your future. Definitely let me know. I'm always interested in hearing. Furthermore, everyone can, I'll put up my lovely ghetto end sign again. What? If you want a personal reading, or if you want astrology services, or you want to look at spellcasting objects or ritual services, you can come to my website, IMAGINATIONWITCH.com, brand IMAGINATION. And I will be doing more of these on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, let me know. It's also helpful to share this out with people through the algorithms of YouTube, but also good for me to be able to know what you are interested in, viewers. Also, I'm over on Instagram at hellobetweentheveils.com. I'll write that there next time. But for now, I hope you had a wonderful time. Bye.